Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, before we get this epistle started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to our beloved Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, our beloved Lord and Savior, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harachak Wadash. Double honor as always to our beloved elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who we learn the truth from daily, whether you hear forbear, and a sincere salutation as always to the rest of the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Alright, and just get into it, just a quick hit. A land back off of the lesson done by the beloved Shah Amor Anabad and Adawan Ratazah. This lesson will be edifying and straight to the point. Alright, fair use, fair use.
And this is coming from a healthcare worker. When I say that y'all better tighten the fuck up, it's nasty as fuck out here. Lab results used to take maybe about 2 business days. The shit is so backed up because of the STD rates right now. It's sad. It takes 4 to 5 days, maybe longer, to get a fucking result back. Don't spoil a good time and be left with something long term. Tighten the
Right, so I just wanted to get this portion of the Shah's video. All right, just wanted to make a quick little point of edification. All right, pretty much what the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone have been saying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Shai. All this freakism that goes on here in Babylon the Great, it's coming to a head. In the sense that it's not about to be as easy to just freak off like a lot of these nigga women and a lot of these niggas used to do, because you have it where these niggas they like to be down low or whatever. They like to still walk around like they masculine and all this other shit and try to what's the word I'm looking for? They try to have an evil eye towards their own people, so to speak, with all this gangbang shit and everything else, and just being quick to start some shit. But ultimately, these niggas are going up other niggas, they going up other niggas' ass, to keep it frank. And then you got it where they go and deal with a woman still, you see, and then that plays a part into these plagues being spread, so to speak. You got to be sensitive with YouTube. They got all types of hypocrisy with them. All right, they'll have all types of filth on the YouTube algorithm, but as soon as the men of the Lord say a word to tell the truth, it's a whole thing. But anyway, then on the other hand, you got the women that like to pretend like they're innocent and blah blah blah. But then these women, they'll have a man, but then they go to the gym and then they go into their little gym thought mode and everything else, and then they trying to garner attention from other men. And then you got the ones that actually be smashing other dudes, and then it's just everything here is just backwards. And our people are under the curses, and Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, knowing that, he puts us in environments that's not actually conducive to a healthy community. See? So let's go ahead and get the precept. I do believe the Shah Amor Anabad had put it up. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse, trying to go right into it. I do believe it's in the 50s. I'll just type it. Get to it real quick. Alright, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 27, and it reads, "And the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed." Alright, so you see, the Lord, he already prophesied that our people will go through certain plagues because of disobedience to his laws. Alright, but most of our people, they still want to do their own thing. You got a lot of these niggas and these nigga women, they put the Lord completely on the back burner. The Lord is always the furthest thing from their mind, you see? So they don't take it seriously when the Lord gives us laws, statutes, and commandments on how to maneuver as a nation of people. You see, Jake acts like animals. They move in a spirit of, do as thou wilt, that satanic Aleister Crowley spirit, who is also an Edomite, an Amalekite specifically, if I'm not mistaken. And now you got it where these STD rates are just skyrocketing. All right. So those who have a situation, it's best to just stick with your situation. That's why, Apostle Paul himself has said, art thou bound to a wife, seek not to be loose, roughly paraphrasing. And the reason why Apostle Paul gave that command to the men is because, simply put, in the ancient world, in the natural order, men have the authority. But now in Babylon, the land of confusion, women got the authority to just up and leave a man with no consequences. And this is what caused all of this whoredom to go on, and what causes the spread of plagues. Let's see if I can get that in Deuteronomy 23. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Right, so basically, our women are not supposed to be whores. All right, that's a commandment. You see? Now, if you want to get deeper into it, let's get that. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 29. And it reads, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. And that's what's happening. All right. And before some scoffer tries to say something stupid, didn't your apostle say that you can deal with a pro and everything? Well, look, end of the day, all the bulk of these women here in Babylon the Great are hoes. And the reason why I say the bulk is because the only ones that probably aren't are young women that haven't been who haven't even matured to that point yet. But the thing is, in this place, all right, similar to the ancient world, these younger women in high schools and stuff like that, they get active. Even when we was in high school, that was happening. But the thing is, now this generation is getting worse and worse, so there's not really anything governing even a semblance of order. You see? So all types of illnesses and stuff is just being spread because no one actually understands or cares about the purpose of basically of sex. They don't care. So we in an environment where these type of things increase, and then even those who get married, there's no safety in it because you got the spirit of adultery running rampant. But the point is, when the apostles say what they say about that, it's because look, most of these people out here, these women, they like to play the role of being a good woman, the chameleons. They like to play that role, but then ultimately they want to still commit adultery. So that's why basically it's keeping you in the spirit of not being so tied up into a woman. So when the woman does you dirty, you're not losing your shit about it. You're not forsaking the Lord and crashing out. That's all that's about. But the point is, this law was given to us in a time where we actually ran everything, when we were sovereign. We ran our own nation, so we didn't have to worry about the things we worry about today. Now it's a problem of what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm trying to say? Now it's a problem of not being able to even have any trust within our community. You see, that defeats the purpose of even calling yourself a community. So when you like to say the black community, there's no such thing as a black community. There is no common unity, and there's no structure. See, this happens right here. This is why the Lord gave us laws about having multiple wives. This is why the Lord gave us, the customs and the statutes pertaining virgins. All right, virgins were, all within our law is different ways of protecting a virgin. It's not like it is here in Babylon the Great. Here in Babylon the Great, even if a virgin doesn't get abused, okay, she's not valued. You got other women that will shame her for being a virgin. They'll call her lame, this and that, and if she's weak-willed, it'll work, and she'll be just like them. So that's another thing. Now let's get this precept. Sirach, better known as Ecclesiastes, chapter 36, verse 24. He that begetteth a wife, it's like he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession and a help like unto himself and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. You see? So the hedge is the husband. The hedge is the protection, all right? And the possession, like it already said in the previous verse, that's the wife. All right? Despite the fact that these women want to be feminists and shit, That's what it is. The Lord made the man the head over the woman because the man is the stronger vessel, the woman is the weaker vessel. There's much protection that comes with having a man, especially in Jacob's trouble. It's not going to be how many bodies your nigga caught. It's not going to be how many guns he got. All that doesn't protect you any damn way. It just gives you the illusion of protection because he can put somebody to death, and a bunch of people could put him to death. All right, he could even get put to death by one person that don't even seem like he could take somebody's life. So protection comes from Yahweh Bashmi al Shah. All right, but yeah, this verse 25 shows how this goes both ways. Because if a woman doesn't have a man, she's spoiled. Okay, they become jacked up mentally. Anything is bound to happen to them, and in a lot of cases they get deleted. They don't have a man that cares about them. They get the wrong type of man. They get destroyed. This is why in the scriptures it also speaks about how the father stays up at night, worrying about his daughter, whether she'll be married or whether this or whether that, so forth and so on. All right, and on the other hand, it says, "And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning," right? Because a lot of these dudes out here that's been looking at these women on these social media platforms, like the elders has already said, when these foreign troops and these different heathen from these other nations, when they come in this country, and all hell breaks loose, they know all these women that have been posting ass pictures and shaking ass and doing all this OnlyFans. If these women are still alive during that time, the Lord is gonna, if they're not one of the elect, the Lord's gonna make sure that they get destroyed. They're gonna get ravaged. So look, a man who doesn't have that goes into these thirsty dudes that can't get no box, or that these dudes that even if they can, these women have been playing too many games, rejecting them. Some of these women have been putting dudes on child support, all types of stuff. So all that's gonna come to a close in Jacob's trouble. So, that goes into that. And then, it says, once again, it says, "And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning." This even goes to righteous men, because it's hard. Like, you can't even have an actual family structure here. This society is real caustic. It's toxic to the real family structure. That's what Esau did. He made a society that breaks down the family nucleus. All right. So that's why these STD rates and stuff are skyrocketing. This is why the Lord gave us this law right here. Oldie but goodie. Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. "If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and duty of marriage shall he not diminish." And that duty of marriage goes into sex. So if you have a wife, all right, and if you have a wife, then you supposed to lay the pipe on her. And for you sisters, if you have a man, you're not supposed to deny him sex. And the scripture says you're not supposed to deny each other that unless it be for a time, for prayer or something like that. Not something like that, but it has to be for a time period, so you can set aside time for prayer, so forth and so on, so you can get more rooted in the spirit. But you're not supposed to be using sex as a weapon against each other, essentially. Verse 11. "And if he do not these three unto her, then she shall go out free without money." So that was basically how it was in the ancient world. All right. But now, it's always a bunch of excuses with these women. It's not even about resources. It's not even about actually, being a unit. It's just these women want to do what the hell they want to do. And, a lot of these jakes, they not right in the head. So that's where we at right now. So, jakes that don't think the scriptures is real, you listen to all these dumb podcasts and niggas, you thinking the Bible is just a book of random wisdom, worldly wisdom. All right. So these are the plagues you got to deal with. So all that, smashing holes and stuff like that, it's not as simple as it used to be. A lot of people got more illnesses than they carry. They're not letting you know. You see, and that's the judgment of the Lord ultimately. Let's get that real quick and then I'll close. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. "And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth Yahweh Bashmi al Shah shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her." And that's why a lot of these dudes catch STDs. They get taken for child support, taken for half, and these women just ruin their lives in a number of different ways. All right, and that's why these women, they get judged, because they keep thinking that the system is going to protect them in all their wickedness, and it often does. But the Lord, He's the one that controls these things. So when He gets tired of it, then judgment starts to come down, and then we start to see, exactly why the Lord He condemns certain stuff and why He warns you. So it's not going to be any pity. But that's all I have for this epistle. I don't want to write this out. This was edifying. Once again, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashmi al Shah, Bashmi al Double honor as always to our beloved elder apostles and other bishops of the great millstone. Peace and salutations as always to the hopeful elect. Shalom.